It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. The Nimble with Numbers team presents Chalked Blocked with Bo Big Time McBrayer.
Bam! I gotta know what a $5 shake tastes like.
That's hot. That's hot.
I want winning, Bo. You don't know diddly.
And his partner, Scott Stag Simpson.
Do you know who I am?
Trying to put Tiger Bomb on this jungle's nuts.
That's cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
I gotta catch a glimpse of these warlocks. Let's make a move. Let's make a move. Let's make a move.
Hey guys, welcome to Chalk Blocked on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We are the world's sexiest DFS show for now. That over there to my left on the screen is Scotty Stacks Simpson at Nimble W Numbers. Down here in the basement where he belongs is our lead mathematician at Jordan Vanek 1. He's so cute. How's your beard coming in, Jordan?
It's shaved.
Yes. My guy, look at that grand piano in the background.
Dude, this is what the basement looks like. Or this. What do we want?
That looks like basement.
I found it. That's who I want.
There you go.
Congratulations. Yeah. How are you feeling as a Panther fan right now in lieu of the draft? I heard you say you're fighting trolls on Twitter earlier tonight. How's it going?
So, fun fact, this is the most. So, the Panthers have traded 4 times in a draft. That's the most times we've ever traded. And today we traded 4 times. Still got, half the draft left. Also, in terms of capital, we've already made up everything for the Darnold trade. So, that's nice. And we addressed every need we needed. So, I'm excited. That defense right now we're building is phenomenal. J.C. Horn, Derek Brown, Jeremy Chin, and Brian Burns that's all I need for a foundation at 25, all under 25.
Outstanding. They had 9 defensive picks last year. Another 3 or 4 this year so far. Probably more to come with that staff. They love themselves some young defensive players that are going to hawk the ball. That's why they went with J.C. Horn.
Mm-hmm.
He's a magnet to the ball. I don't know if his technique's as sound as you like to see from a top 10 pick, but, I mean, the Honey Badger is a similar product, except J.C. Horn's a lot taller than that. You got an athletic guy that gets after the ball. He's very handsy and physical, which is probably why the Cowboys wish they had gotten him or Surtain.
Mm-hmm.
Surtain more technically gifted. But, of course, Dallas got sniped on both of them because Denver's – oh, my goodness. Denver is they went from, we have Aaron Rodgers maybe coming this way. Oh, Justin Fields fell to us.
Yeah.
Maybe Mac Jones is the right fit for our system. No, we're going to take a corner, Patrick Surtain, who's a stud. I mean, it's a good pick. It's just – now you have Teddy Bridgewater and you have Drew Luck and maybe Davis Mills down the road if they go there. I mean, I haven't seen Mills come off the board yet. Has he?
He did.
Yeah.
What did was it the
after Kellen Mond? It was to the Texans. That was the Texans' very first picks in this draft.
The first pick ever in the 2021 draft. You know what?
R.I.P. Davis Mills.
Oh my gosh! Well, yeah, I think
here lies
Nico Collins.
Davis Mills.
Drafted there too.
Here lies Nico Collins.
Oh man, poor guys.
Here lies Mark Ingram. It's a graveyard down there.
It is. Well, you know what?
Speaking of the Coast graveyard,
the opposite of a graveyard, and that's going to be the Atlanta weapons for Mr. Matty Ice, Kyle Pitts, my guy all along. I called it. I've been saying it. I was wishing, hoping. And if you got Calvin Ridley in Dynasty, that's a boon for him. It's ridiculous. I'm just so excited. There's
who
no
are you gonna cover. That's
right.
Who you're gonna cover.
Right. And those trades for Julio Jones did not materialize, which I love. Jordan, just to get to your point in defense of Carolina, you did talk about the wide receivers on Twitter and who that division holds. And it's got Michael Thomas, it's got Godwin. You have got just so many players who they have to line up against 6 times a season that matters. Your division matters. So I actually like what you guys did, and I think that it was a good pick on Horn.
Kyle Pitts and Horn matched up, and actually the funny thing is when Horn got picked, he FaceTimed Kyle. They're like actually friends, and it's like JC Horn told him to strap up, son, because when they actually went up head to head in college, JC Horn got the better of him. Kyle Pitts only had 1 catch and like 6 targets. The only receiver that got the better of Horn from everything I saw was Devontae Smith, but just that's fair. Like we're not going to be able to cover everybody. Nope,
you can't. And the only thing that can really cover everything is Bo's hot box. I got to be honest with you. This thing can just bam cover everything in the draft, you know. So, but where can people? Oh, and what are you eating, by the way? As I'm trying to plug your sauce here, are you eating Oreos? What's going on over there? You're filling your face. I'm going to do the read. Okay, I'll do the read. So this is Bo's Hot Box special batch. It's gourmet small batch hot sauce. It is available at BigTimeFlavorCo.com. You can go there. You can get your taco Cezanne. You can get your rub, which is just delicious. I love Smoke Shack rub. What else? There's new products rolling out there all the time. Am I missing something?
Yeah, the only one you didn't mention was the newest product, which I'm still waiting for. So it's the only one. If you order, you're going to get one from my regular label maker, and it's called That's Cluckin' Hot, and that's a Nashville hot seasoning.
Ooh, that's clucking hot.
It's spicy cayenne seasoning with a little bit of brown sugar sweetness to it. It goes on fried chicken, fried fish, fried fingers, you name it. If you fry it, it's going to be good with That's Cluckin' Hot on it.
Oh, I love it. And while you're at it, you can go look sexy like the sexiest team in DFS for now. You get your stuff over at Viridian Global. Hotbox merch. You can look sexy just like Bo and I do. And I also got to say, you know, you can also go, because I'm a man of many salesmanship. Go over. I got myself a Deposit King, you know, over there at the Fantasy Life from Matthew Berry. We love Matthew Berry over here at Chalk Block. Maybe one day we'll have him. Yeah, he's one of our faves over here. Shout out. He did like my tweet today. I shouted out Peter Overzet. I was in the Fantasy News Life newsletter. I got a shout out from Peter Overzet rocking the gear, and then he put it in Matthew Berry's newsletter, and I just saw it this week. It was a couple weeks ago, and I just shouting him out, saying thank you to Peter Overzet, who is down in Miami with the Underdog team. Speaking of big things going on down there at the Underdog team, Best Ball Mania 2, May 3rd. It is going to be a huge best ball tournament with $3.5 million in prizes, $1 million to the winner. All three of us are in there. We're all going to be in there fighting it out. You know we are. I cannot wait to see one of my boys at the top of the leaderboard, if not me. It's a big deal. Underdog.
It won't be you, Scott. Who are we kidding?
Get out of here. It is going to be me. Underdog best ball season has officially started, and to kick off the draft weekend, existing and new customers, both. So if you're a new customer, you can get this deal. And if you're an existing customer, you can do it as well. If you put in a deposit right now, you'll get a free $25 added to your Underdog Fantasy account. This promotion's for a limited time, so you need to act fast. I already redeemed my 25, and dude, I've been loving it. I used it to stack lineups in Underdog's cool new Pick'em game that allows you to stack up to 5 over-under picks. I maxed out, 20 max out. I got a couple of seeds out there today. Hopefully they're going to give me back some cash. So basically, if you put in $1, you can win up to 20 times that. So I've got 20, I got maybe 5 or 6 $1 bets, win up to 20. I got close last night. I was only 1 off. So check that out. Download the app in the Apple Store, the Play Store, and make sure that you enter the code NIMBLE when you sign up. That's NIMBLE. You got to pay the bills, but Underdog Fantasy is awesome. I love it. I'm on there every day. And I think they pulled best ball until May 3rd or until the draft's over, because you can't best ball right now. They want to make sure everybody understands where everyone's going to be at. And I think that's a good idea. And that May 3rd big kickoff on Monday, I think it's going to be, it's going to be big time. Oh man, the season is starting. So
best ball is how I mock draft. So it's
me too.
Like this time of year, I'm just like, give me more best ball drafts.
Oh, it's the best. And you get to see where everybody's at, and you get to play against people. If you come into my one of my little head-to-heads or my tournaments, you have people like Jordan in there, Bo in there, G-Man Jay is in there, a bunch of friends are in there, Dave Kluge, everybody's rocking those out. So please, the Kluge is in there. Please check us out over there. But Well, let's get into the draft. Here's the first question I had for you guys today. And Bo, we can just start off with you. After 2 nights of the draft, or 2 and almost 2 full nights, what has your hot box watered? What are you excited about? What has your engine revving? Your taco sizzling.
So it's been a tale of two halves, basically. The first round, you had mostly a good round for every team that picked. There were a couple outlier head-scratching picks, but I would say most teams did all right, at least all right, with their first-round pick. Then the second round kicked in, and I think teams got a little bit desperate with some of their needs, because some of the position needs for some of these teams had kind of a tier cliff to them in that second round. So like my Cowboys, who I was okay with their first round pick, Micah Parsons, but their second round pick, I felt like they got sniped by the Raiders, which I called from a mile away. I was like, as soon as 49ers traded to Las Vegas, that 43rd pick, I'm like, those sons of bitches are going to get Trevon Merrick, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm yelling. I'm in the hospital at that time, in the waiting room, and it's nothing serious, but I was yelling not because of anything medical going on, but because the Raiders traded up in front of the Cowboys to take Trevon Merrick out of TCU. And I know Jerry Jones was writhing in his giant luxury chair, sipping on his Pepsi Cola, and was about to lift that phone up and call Trevon Merrick, and he had to panic, basically, and he took a guy that was good, but I would say he's the third or fourth best available at his position at the time. And the corner out of Kentucky, I don't remember his name because I was too upset.
Kelvin Joseph. Fine ball player. I had a third, fourth kind of tier, third or fourth round grade on him, kind of in between there. And it was a reach, and I hated it because the Cowboys, they need defense. They need defensive backs. And Trevon Merrick was still there at 43, and then all of a sudden he was gone, and I think Jerry Jones was just like, oh, no, what do we do now? And I think he forgot that Asante Samuel Jr. was sitting there, because I was like, oh, they can still get Samuel as soon as Merrick went off the board. That's not a big deal. I mean, it's a shocker that Samuel's not taken already either.
Right.
And what did he do? He didn't get Samuel. He didn't get defensive end until the fourth round or the third round here. And I was very upset.
It looked like Jerry was playing catch up. And what surprised me, we talked about this. I went back and watched about 3 weeks ago. I think it was a show on the 10th or the 9th, somewhere around there. And what we talked about is me wanting to have Atlanta get Kyle Pitts, and how that would happen, and you talking about how smart, and me as well, Jerry was, and how great he was at subterfuge and kind of being in the mix and doing all those things. And you even saw he did it to the Giants. I watched a video of a Giants fan. It was really funny, self-deprecating, but not on purpose. He was ready for the Devonta Smith pick, and then the Giants – then the Cowboys and then the Eagles did a little swapperoo, and he was just like, "Don't you? Oh my gosh, they're gonna do it! They're gonna do it!" He's freaking out, and then they
love to see it.
It was beautiful, as they say. I felt bad for the Giants a little bit there, because you don't want to see somebody kicked in the nuts when they're down. Which obviously the franchise has been down for a while, and they get kicked.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, okay, fine, you do. Right, you do. It was nice to see him get kicked in the nuts. And then they kicked themselves in the nuts with their pick. I don't hate Kadarius Toney. I think he's a good player, and I've seen a lot of film of him. And a good player doesn't mean that you're going to do anything in the NFL. I'm just saying that. A good player means that in college you were able to be successful, predominantly successful. But I'm not into. Shout out my man, Mr. Joe Bond.
What up?
Yeah, we love Mr. Joe Bond. The Thunderdome, me and Bo were chopping it up all last year over at the Fantasy Six Pack.
How did that go?
Yeah, you chopped up it most of the time and took it home yourself. So
I was too drunk most of the time to realize what was going on. But
yeah,
I think it went well.
Shut your mouth, Bo. Glad you're with us, Mr. Bond. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I mean that's kind of where we're at with the with the situational. I have a question for you, Mr. Jordan. Who is your favorite skill position acquisition so far in the draft?
So with, the obvious, you could go with your Najee Harris, the Steelers, getting 280 touches. That's fun. You could go with, Jamar Chase of the Bengals, Joe Burrow and him, connection, fun. For me, I really, really like the Josh Palmer pick. I think he's clear cut to get into the wide receiver 2 range with like the Chargers offense, because I don't think Mike Williams is I'm not sure what he does. He doesn't get separation, and Herbert doesn't throw a pretty deep ball. And Josh Palmer comes from Tennessee. His stats in college don't excite you whatsoever, but it's because of bad QB play, and that's not something we can grade a player on. And every bit of his measurables is nice. And when he got a pretty ball, he made the plays. And you actually go and see he killed Surtain on a 40-yard touchdown. He killed one of the LSU corners and Eric Stokes. Eric Stokes, he worked on a deep route. So you got, 3 corners that are first, second round picks. I at that late in the draft, and just the Chargers are a team where there's targets to go around. Their defense isn't good enough yet to really make you, oh God, we need they just don't really stay healthy on that side of the ball. I love Brandon Staley for what his scheme was with Arizona or the Rams this past year, but Herbert possibly is wide receiver too. I know Eckler's going to get up to the 100 targets if he stays healthy, and Keenan's going to dominate and get 150, but Josh Palmer can get into the 90 target range if you give him if Mike Williams, he can beat him out. And that's just one of my favorite picks this draft. And Amari Rodgers is another one from the Packers, just because that Randall Cobb type of role.
Yeah, the Packers, who will no longer have Aaron Rodgers, apparently. That was a crazy story that dropped the other day that no one saw coming, because he doesn't ever say anything bad about the Packers, especially not on Jeopardy. When one of the guys, I think his name was Chris, answered his final Jeopardy question with, should have gone for it on 4th down or something like that, right? Shouldn't have kicked the field goal. Yeah, who decided to kick that field goal? So it was great.
Very good question,
dude. Trey McKitty to the Chargers. That's their next pick. There's their latest pick. I like that one too. Donald Parham shares going down.
Yeah,
they had another signing too at tight end,
Jared Cook.
Yeah, Jared Cook, I think, has still got a year or two of pretty decent production left as well. The Trey McKitty pick is a developmental one for sure.
Yeah,
because tight ends really don't hit their stride until year 2 or 3. That's for dynasty's sake. McKitty might have solidified himself a spot in my top 5 for rookies
over Brevin Jordan. Still not picked. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
99 Dallas. That was my mock to Dallas, was 99 with Brevin Jordan. So
that'd be nice for you guys to get him there. So here's a question. Speaking of somebody who we all really liked a lot, and I think most people did, Elijah Moore. He ended up being drafted in the 2nd round by the Jets. Is he dead? Is Elijah Moore dead? Not for DFS, but for fantasy. What do you guys?
He's not dead anyway.
So
is he the wide receiver 1 on that team?
No. See, the thing is, fantasy, I'd really never draft rookie wide receivers. I tend to stay away from it just because they're not expected to do much this upcoming season. I mean, you can put the Chases of the world, but if Chase gets to 900 yards, that's a great year for a rookie wide receiver.
That's what he did last year.
Yeah, and that's what you expect of a guy like that. You don't expect him to have the Calvin Ridley rookie year where 10 plus touchdowns, Mike Evans, Jefferson, Odell. Those rookie years rarely come. And Elijah Moore on the Jets, I think his role will get better, especially with Jameis Crowder being most likely gone next year, and then he gets the full slot time work. That's going to be the nice thing.
Crowder's gone this year.
Can they get rid of him? I don't know if their contract. I haven't paid attention to that.
They're going to either cut or trade him.
Yeah, he might be one of those cap hits that they have to take a little bit on, but to save in the future.
Yeah,
I don't know why you have both those players on the team. He's a faster, better, stronger version of Crowder. I mean, he doesn't know the offense, but you saw what Crowder did last year when he was pinpointed. I'm interested to see how him and Zach Wilson get on and how that chemistry is built through a limited schedule. Hopefully, there's the way the NFL is rolling out their COVID protocols this offseason. Hopefully, there's a little bit more opportunity to connect with the rookies and to be able to throw past
this draft, though. They're doing a really
love
good.
it. I wish.
So the Bears
is on fire, dude.
The Bears are doing a good job too.
We're helping them.
Yeah, you are. Bo and I roasted, fittingly so, Mike Mayock, Gettleman, Mr. Pace, and Belichick, and just for fun. And I gotta say, right now, Gettleman, he's trading back was good. I like that, getting a little bit extra pick. I did not like the Kadarius pick, but Mike Mayock, doing Mike Mayock stuff. Some good, some bad. All driven by ego. And then, honestly, Pace, I really like the pick of Tevin Jenkins in the second round. That really makes me happy for David Montgomery. And then for Justin Fields, it gives him a strong, edge protector. And so it makes me happy to see him kind of finally waking up.
Pure luck. I mean,
it
was luck, but the trading up with the Giants was genius because you don't ever expect to see that kind of player slip outside the top 10. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody. And so if you have that opportunity to trade up, you're going to sell the farm to get that guy because you would have been able to, if they had been a little closer, let's say they were originally at 11, they probably would have traded up into the top 10 pretty easily to get Fields. But because they had such a distance to go from 20, him at 11 was a steal. And I think if they didn't have that available, they might have taken Jenkins at 20. And that's really, really savvy drafting and a lot of luck involved in that pick. Cowboys picks coming up. And just in case you're wondering, I didn't answer you earlier, but I'm eating 39 Oreos today on the show for my friend Dave Mendelson. Mendy
shout out.
If the Steelers didn't pick Najee Harris last night, he was going to eat 3 sleeves of Oreos. And I said, that sounds like a Friday night to me. And I was like, I could do that in my sleep. I'm already over halfway done with them, and we're not even at the commercial break. So, Mandy, this is child's play. And I have a nice little mug of ice cold milk in my Fluff You Fluff and Fluff mug. Shout out, cat lovers.
Bo, do you know who Nashawn Wright is? Oregon State corner.
Yes, I do.
Do you like him?
I mean, if you want a press corner.
Well, the Cowboys have him, so
are we doing Tampa 2 this year? What's going on?
You're playing the cover 3. Maybe you're getting the grill. I don't like him. I'm not happy about that one.
No,
he's got a long read.
Pac-12 defenders you haven't heard of, it's never a good thing.
Oregon State, too, on top of it for Pac-12 defenders?
I like some of Oregon State's prospects have been pretty good over the years, but it's few and far between. I know this guy pretty well. Let's just say that the freshman wide receiver for the Ducks, the big, tall kid, James, got him for some big catches down the field last year in the Civil War. But
I would have liked... Dude, Deontay Brown or Trey Smith would have made so much more sense for you guys. Just I don't
know what's going on this year. I mean, other than the Parsons pick, which I would have taken Slater there. But it's just like Parsons, I would give a B. Like Slater would have been the A pick there. And then the second round pick, I'd give a C- too, because that just Asante Samuel was the pick there. It's just I don't understand what they're doing with the new defensive coordinator. Not really matching up system here with that pick. That's a press corner.
That's it's not a good tweet when Kyle Yates goes, "I sleep, eat, breathe the NFL draft. Once the NFL season stops, who is Nashawn Wright?"
Yeah.
That's an ouch. I'm sorry. Dallas are just one of those.
And me as a Pac-12 guy had to look at his jersey number and go, that's who that is. Like I had to look at my TV here. I had to look at my TV and see the jersey number to know who it was. That's not good. No.
I really want the Titans to go Tylan Wallace here because this dude not going in the first 3 rounds would really upset me.
Tylan Wallace is way too good. Way too good for that.
I like him. He's just such a good route runner, man. I really, really do enjoy his route.
Ball winners.
I got one. I got a bowl winner. my Terrence Marshall guy. I mean, the Panthers draft a lot of people. I really wanted a guard, and at some point here, I wanted Creed Humphrey. Dude, the freaking Chiefs, what? They said, all right, Mahomes, you had a bad Super Bowl. It'll never happen again. Don't you worry. All the big linemen. I mean, did you see Andy Reid came out and said Orlando Brown told him to draft him? Like, they told him to draft Creed Humphrey. He's like, he's the man. And then he's like, all right, I follow his advice. That's cool as hell.
There's no way Creed Humphrey should have been there.
Oh, no shot. And then, I mean, this draft has been a lot of cool stuff where, like, Joe Burrow throwing to Jamar Chase again, Jalen Waddle and Tua.
That's all well and good. That's all feel good stuff. I don't care about that crap.
No.
Well, yeah. Totally different.
Well, yeah, because Oregon can't put a receiver out for Justin Herbert to fall in love with. I'm sorry.
Oh, ow, that stings. But yeah, well, with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little Kyle Pitts, and we're going to talk projections. Where do we have him? I'm going to give numbers. I have a very aggressive projection model for him that I plugged in. I'm going to ask you guys to rate it over under each of the different sections: touchdowns, receptions, yards, ranking, all of those things, fantasy points. So we're going to do a little bit of commercial breaks. We'll be back in 3 minutes. This is Chalk Block on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I am Nimble W Numbers with Bo_McBigtime and Jordan Vanek 1 on Twitter. We'll be right back after this.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Actually, we'll be interviewing as a team.
We're here to shit up.
Now back to Chalk Block with Bo and Scott.
Hold it.
Welcome back to Chalk Block. We do need to add a little bit more to that intro because we do have with us the lead math magician over at Nimble W Numbers, my man Jordan Vanek 1 on Twitter. Jordan, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
It's a draft, right? It is just freaking amazing, right? This is just like
I introduced Jordan. Are you saying I missed the introduction? Because I know I did.
Oh man, I mean, Jordan is just all over everywhere. He's on my show. He was on another show I was on earlier tonight too. He's the man. Please do check him out. And his work is going to be all over the place. Let's talk about somebody that we all love, and we just can't wait to see him play football for the Atlanta Falcons. Give me some hot Atlanta this year in fantasy, like I always like him. I won him. Last year I drafted Matt Ryan, Julio, and Calvin Ridley in the Scott Fish Bowl. It wasn't terrible. It was not the best ever. It wasn't terrible. Julio was hurt a little bit, but Calvin Ridley was sick, and Matt Ryan did well enough. So, but let's talk Kyle Pitts. I have some projections out here, and so I'm going to go through them, and I want you guys to kind of give me over, under, and then your rationale. And so we'll start with Bo, and Bo, you can tell me over, under for 70 receptions in the Atlanta Falcons offense. Over, under. What do you think? Over. Oh, tell me what makes you say over? You got Hayden Hurst still there. He didn't get released. He's still on the team. You got a lot of other mouths to feed. Why do you say over 70?
Because they did not address the running back position. Mike Davis isn't very good. Their offensive line isn't very good. So I'm going to say they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. Their defense is still not very good. So we're going to see a lot of shootouts. We're going to see a lot of Matt Ryan throwing until his arm comes off. And so I see way more than I'd say about 80 catches for Kyle Pitts this year.
Ooh, so conservative. I like that. Jordan, what about you?
But realistic, I think.
Right, definitely in the scope of possibilities. Jordan, what do you think? I thought I was bullish with 70. We out of our minds here?
I feel like I'm more on the underside. Rookie tight end, just one of those things that kind of
he's
takes
not
a little
tight
bit.
end. He's a freak unicorn, dude.
That's fair. That is fair. But I think this number will depend a lot on Julio's health. Because if you're thinking about, like, say, Matt Ryan, it's one of those pass happy games. He gets like 35, 40. You go Julio getting 10 plus, Calvin getting 10 plus. They got like 20 targets. You get 4 to 5 to the running back. And then we're sitting with Hayden Hurst, the Russell Gage, and Kyle Pitts battling for targets. And I mean, if Kyle Pitts could get to 70 receptions, that would be a freaking phenomenal rookie year. But I think he'll hover around like the 63, 64 range for me.
Okay. I like
17 games changes a lot, though.
Yeah.
So,
An extra game gives you a little bit more of a pump. And so, got to take that.
Think about this real quick. If he were to get 100 targets, which is pretty lofty, I mean, that I'm assuming if he gets 80 catches, it's going to be like 105, 110 as far as targets. So it's a pretty out there thing. So over 17 games, was that 7 targets a game? I don't.
Yeah.
I think that's within range.
That's doable.
No, it is. No, totally. I mean, that's why again.
A game in an offense where they're going to throw it 30 plus times on average every game.
Yeah. Well. Speaking of some of those receptions, we know and we saw at Florida that Kyle Pitts was a red zone machine, and Atlanta does not have a red zone threat. You think Julio Jones, but really he struggled.
They do now.
Yeah, they do now. They have the red zone threat, not just in the down 5-yard line, but 10, 15, 20 yards out, getting behind the linebackers. There's just an opportunity there for sure. I have 8 touchdowns over under. Jordan, we'll start with you. What do you think that number? High, low? Where would you go?
I think you're going to go over. That will be the area he dominates for the fantasy DFS side of things. He'll be a huge touchdown upside, and I mean the Panthers prepared to stop him. I don't think the Saints can. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as much as Levante David really locked up on Kelsey, I could totally see this being like a feeler type of game because it's one like Kyle Pitts is different. This is the most freak of a nature I've ever seen come out for the tight end position.
He makes DK Metcalf look like AJ Brown.
Yeah, he's 20. I mean?
Yeah,
he's gonna be 20 this year. I think this is where in the red zone, I think is going to be a lot of his work, and he's going to dominate because Arthur Smith definitely comes from Tennessee, where we watched what Derrick Henry was for them, and we have no idea what this guy is going to do with this style of offense. But he sees freak, he uses freak in the red zone. So that's where I'm going with.
Right? No, I love it. But what about you? Over under 8 TDs? You agree with Jordan? Disagree?
Yeah, he's gonna smash that. If I'm gonna stick with 80 catches as my bar for his rookie season, he's gonna crack double digits in touchdowns. Mm-hmm. We're talking a historic future Hall of Fame player if he stays healthy. There's no reason why anybody should expect anything less from this kid after what we saw him do with Kyle Trask throwing the ball last year in the SEC.
Yeah.
We're talking a guy 6'5 plus, runs a 4.4 something 40. The speed score is out into outer space, basically. He's got an 83-inch wingspan. The dude's 6'5. That was a 77, 78-inch wingspan would be the equal equivalent. So it's basically Johnny Bones with 50 pounds on him running routes, and it's insane. Yeah, it's this guy is a freak, dude. And he's got great hands. He's a decent blocker, so if they do need him to stay in line a couple times, which I think Hayden Hurst is probably a more polished blocker, and you're going to see a lot more of that 12 personnel like they ran in Tennessee a lot.
Yeah.
Because Ferkser and Jonnu Smith got theirs quite often in that offense. And, I mean, Jonnu's been kind of in that same athletic realm as Pitts, but he's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And so that's the scary part is you have a Jonnu Smith who's 3 inches taller.
Man, I
Good
can't
luck.
wait. I
Good
can't
luck.
wait. So we're both of you are over 8 touchdowns. What about 800 yards? What about that? Over under? Bo, we'll start with you. Where do you think he finishes in yards?
I think that'll be really close. He's gonna average more than 10 yards a catch, but it won't be by much. So I'll say over, but it's gonna be close.
Okay.
I think he's gonna be somewhere in that 800 range. And so if he is a red zone threat and he's catching 80 balls, he's going to be right around 800 to 820.
Yeah, I think I'll pencil him in for like 760 with the catch total that I have. I think he'll definitely float in that like 10 to 13 range for yards, like per catch. What Bo was saying. I mean, I can't wait to see this guy play football, like for this offense. Just like imagine if the Falcons just get into the red zone and they go trips to the right hand side and they have Julio, Calvin, and Kyle Pitts. Like, what do you do? You throw two corners over there? Okay.
Yeah, you have a little pants.
Matt Ryan's going to have to change his pants, too.
Like, do you like, I don't know. I wouldn't know how to block it. I wouldn't know what to do because you just throw the ball right to Calvin off the line and it's Kyle Pitts and Julio blocking for him.
Right. And Julio's a monster, too.
Yeah. That Eagles play. I don't know if you remember the block he threw and Jake Matthews threw in that crazy game. That was be nuts.
No, I love it. Okay, so you guys are shooting my projection over the moon. Then I had him projected for 200 fantasy points this year. Where do you have him landing, Jordan? What's your range of well, maybe Bo has him shooting. Are you right around there? You a little under? What's it look like for you?
I'm right around there. I mean, it's the 10 point. It's like 10.2 fantasy points a game from 10.3. That's like ideal. I mean, that's pretty much that would be a great rookie year. I would say like 195 to 205. It depends if we're doing PPR. That makes
we only
do PPR for DraftKings.
we're full PPR. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the PPRs.
Yeah, we can't be the sexiest show in DFS.
We're laying our PPR on the table
for now and not be full PPR, guys. Let me just tell you. So, okay, so I have him at tight end 5. Is that lofty? Is that kind of right where you think you should be? I can name the people I think I have above him. For me, it's going to go Lord Kelsey, because you have to have him up there. It's going to go, Mr. Kittle. It's going to go, Mr. Waller. And then I got T.J. Hockenson, the number 1 wide receiver on the worst team, second to worst team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions, one of the worst teams. I think he'll be wide receiver 1 on that team. So then I have Pitts. That's how it goes. Boom, 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 boom. What do you guys think about tight end 5? Am I lowballing him? Should he be even higher ranked on this list? Both saying up. All right, Bo, go for it, man. You get the floor, sir.
So volume-wise, we're talking about Kittle in a low passing volume offense with either Jimmy G probably getting handcuffed to the hospital bed. So he's not going to throw the ball very much. They won't let him. He just doesn't do it well. So they're going to run the rock a bunch. And Kittle loves to block. And he's also he gets banged up because he likes to mix it up with everybody on the field.
He puts it down.
Crash. He hoots and hollers. He's one of the best blocking tight ends I've ever seen. He's a great route runner. He's a great gifted receiver. But we're talking about a team with a lot of weapons. And if it's a rookie quarterback, I actually like his prospects, Kittle's prospects, better with Trey Lance because of that security blanket type aspect.
Me too.
But I think Jimmy G is going to be the starter for at least half the season.
Oh, man.
So I think Kittle will be in the top 5 for sure. Waller for sure. Kelsey for sure. And I have Mr. Pitts coming in at number 4, just ahead of Kittle.
Okay. All right. So we're swapping a bit. What about you, Mr. Vanek? What do you think?
I've got the big 3 ahead of him, and I think T.J. Hockenson is definitely going to be in the top 5 this year, getting the 100 targets. And they didn't draft a receiver. He's going to get 125 targets, just pure volume with the offense. He's going to do it. Jared Goff is not the guy I want to be throwing me the football, but hey, Hockenson, you're a great blocker. We don't got to do that no more. We got Sewell. We just, he's here. You run routes. You just stay running routes. We're chilling.
Well, they also got Josh Hill from the Saints, who is, I think, PFF second graded run blocker out of the tight end. So he's great on moving out, doing screens, getting traps and pulls and getting motion. And so you can line him up as your slot and then have him come across the formation in motion and then down block. So, I mean, there's a lot of things they could do to free Hockenson up in the slot or in that, kind of like off to the slot, I guess you could say, to see routes. I love him a lot this year. Bo's shaking his head. No, we're going to go different on Hawkinson. That's okay. We're not always going to do the same on all the. Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's cool. Kyle Pitts breakdown. I really loved hearing both of your thoughts, and I'm glad that I'm right around in the middle of where you guys are kind of hedging, and that's good. Let's talk about some of the players who have been rising and falling. So, depending on the landing spots of players, their value and their volume really matter. You're going to get more action, like you said. Josh Palmer jumps in San Diego, already kind of thinking about his role as possibly wide receiver 2 there. Who are some people who, because of landing spot, maybe their stock already was high, but they're in an ideal landing position? And we can start with you, Jordan. Who are you thinking that has kind of helped their cause or not hurt it where they've landed?
Najee Harris. I think Najee Harris will rise a little bit. I think he'll actually come up into like the Swift, a little bit higher than his territory because of what we're going to project his volume to be. I know the Steelers haven't had a workhorse running back since James Conner, that second year into the league with Le'Veon's, suspension and all that nonsense. But the Steelers are going to use him like he's going to get 230 touches. I know their offensive line isn't stellar, but at the end of the day, they also haven't had a good running back to help that offensive line. And Najee Harris isn't a world beater as a running back. He is not a Saquon. He is not a Kamara, McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook even. I really like Najee to fit into that like RB8 to RB13 range with those touches. And obviously if other guys get hurt, he'll creep up into the RB5 range like David Montgomery did this year. He's a big riser for his landing spot.
I like that. Bo, how about you? Who's somebody who has caught your eye or maybe had your eye before and now you're excited for them even more?
Not Kadarius Toney.
Well, that's the section. That's the fallers. God.
I know. He couldn't have fallen any more off my rankings. I had him as wide receiver like 19 in the class. So let's just say that I think that the best situation was Javonte Smith in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're talking team's desperate for that X receiver that can get open right off the jump. Nobody was better at getting open in college football last year than Devontae Smith. And if you have a guy like Jalen Hurts back there who's going to make one read to maybe two reads and then either scramble or make something happen, it's just going to be him relying on Devontae Smith to be that first option, and then Jalen Reagor down the field, Goddard over the middle, Miles Sanders out of the backfield, and then scrambling. And that's going to be a pretty versatile offense. But I have a feeling that first option on the line at the X position is going to be Devontae Smith, and he's a winner at the line of scrimmage. It doesn't matter how small the guy is; he's going to win those routes. He's going to be open a lot, and he's got phenomenal hands. He's phenomenal after the catch. That's going to be a scary, scary proposition for the NFC East, and I'm nervous because my Cowboys secondary isn't very good.
Yeah, I love that a lot, and I think that Jalen Hurts really, I'm sure his ADP is going to be skyrocketing. He really benefits from that. He already had an emergence last year in kind of garbage time in the NFL season, of course, but still. I think what we saw was his ability to throw the ball downfield. Some of those passes he had on the edge, particularly in the end zone, red zone, were pretty impressive. And his ability to scramble, he's not going to be pinpoint accurate all the time, but when you have players like you mentioned, Reagor, who can get downfield and get separation, maybe give you that extra yard that can, give you that the separation you need in that. Even though it might be a perfect pass, he can make an adjustment, or you have Smith underneath. And man, I love his ability in college just to get off the ball.
Mendy, I only have 4 Oreos left out of the 39. 4 Oreos left. I'm not even close to being full, and I had 4 gigantic quesadilla tacos before this. So yeah,
I'm starving now, man. Like I'm trying to go to bed here on the East Coast, and now I have more food. This is my diet is going to be the Fit Club. I gotta no.
I'm the president of the barbecue club.
I know. I like it. Okay, all right. So we've got about 10 minutes left. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna jump down. And I want to do a little more, analysis here about the different top scoring rookies in 2021. So I want to give us some predictions. We're going to run through quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. I think we kind of already nailed down with Pitts. I don't think we have to revisit that. But I want you guys to kind of give me who is going to be the top scoring player at each of these positions. And I'll jump in there and give you who I think is going to end up being number one as well. So quarterbacks, I see Bo has his mouth stuffed full of, white, creamy, delicious. Well, some black creamy stuff there too. Anyway, let's go to Jordan. Jordan, who's going to be the top scoring rookie QB this year in fantasy at the end of the year?
I really wish I knew what that Jimmy Garoppolo news is going to be like, even though I don't expect him to start, because I would love to say Trey Lance just of where he is situationally. I think he'll average the most points when he gets in there, but I can't go away from Trevor Lawrence. I'm not with the weapons he got. I know it's the obvious answer, and I wanted to get cute and creative, but sometimes just don't do it. It's not worth it. that ETN, James Robinson, Laviska Shenault, DJ Chark, and Marvin Jones, Tim Tebow,
and James Robinson, and Tim
possibly,
Tebow.
Possibly.
I think Jesus is coming out of retirement too.
Yeah,
Tebow never changed out of his original jock strap. I know he's still wearing the same one. He wore it with the Mets. He wore it with
316 right across the balls. You know what I mean?
Dude, I
had a funny tweet yesterday, and it didn't go viral, and I was upset about it.
Oh,
I was like,
I'll get
is somebody going to tell Urban Meyer about Aaron Hernandez? He's not available.
Oh man, I'm gonna ask Bo. There's a lot of head nodding while you're looking the Oreos and your fingers. I didn't know if that was a quarterback or just the Oreos agreeing with you. What do you think about the Trevor Lawrence take here that Jordan offered up?
So I'm going to I didn't change my quarterback rankings one bit from landing spot. And that's kind of the pitfall of the dynasty player, is putting too much stock into landing spot.
Right.
Quarterback is the most sensitive to landing spot of any position, of course. But I'm keeping it the same. I had Trevor Lawrence followed by Justin Fields. I have a feeling Fields is going to pretty easily beat Andy Dalton through camp as the starter. And he'll have some growing pains, but it's something that I really do feel Fields will be close, but Lawrence has so many weapons and he's so good. Like, people don't appreciate how stinking good Trevor Lawrence is.
Yeah.
Like, we don't appreciate it. Where I had 3 separate tier breaks between him and Fields between 1 and 2. Lawrence is up in the clouds, and then the rest of the guys in the top 5 were still down there somewhere below. Jockeying for position. Lawrence is absolutely special. Everything you've heard that he could be is absolutely true, and I don't think there's anything that can stop him besides injury.
Yeah, they the one thing that like people like to bring up a lot is that Ohio State Clemson game, and people forget that their offensive coordinator wasn't the one calling plays in that game, and QB reads did they run?
Flying blind.
They ran him on a QB like option like 17 times, 18 times. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, you have Amari Rodgers, Cornell Powell, Trevor Lawrence, just throw the ball. And then they did at the end of the game, and you saw right down the field touchdown. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Outthinking yourself when you think you're smarter than you really are, instead of just doing what kind of got you there. So I agree. I'm going to slam dunk the Trevor Lawrence take. Just in your face, have a taste, is what Scott likes to say. Yeah, it's one of my trademarks. There's a few of these. In your face, have a taste, and then nuts in the butts. And so there's a couple, like that. So anyway,
nuts and butts on these last 2 Oreos.
Yeah,
oh, God.
I go nuts in the butts. Yeah, I would use it like this. Like, you see that person over there? Yeah, watch out for them. They're nuts in the butts. That, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything sexual. It just means like they're wild, they're loco, they're crazy. So
hey, fluff you fluff and fluff.
Man, fluff your fluff, bro. I got stuff for your fluff. Don't stuff with that, bro.
Last one, guys.
All right, so running back here, I'm going to jump in, and I'm going to say, man, I think per game, ETN has the biggest upside every game. Stop shaking your head over there. But I think your Najee Harris is going to be where it has to be at. That just has to be. But I'm going to say in DFS, I think Etienne will have weeks where he does just get out of here, Bo. All right, that's fine. Well, I'll play him. You can play Najee Harris. We'll do that. We'll call a little old time rival.
I'll give you an interesting one just for DFS purposes. I'll probably play Trey Sermon more than I play both of them this year.
Yeah, that's actually a great call over there.
Just for pricing purpose and just waiting to see what his role is for Shanahan, because like the Raheem Mostert era of time, which was fun. I remember the first playoff game I played Tevin Coleman against the Vikings, because Tevin Coleman could shoot gaps way better than Raheem Mostert. And then I smashed Raheem Mostert in that NFC Championship against the Packers. Trey Sermon will be my favorite DFS play for these running back groups.
I'm going to say both of you are wrong, because Javonte Williams is going to beat Melvin Gordon for about 80% of those snaps right off the bat. Melvin Gordon is dead.
They got Quinn Maris. They got the Wisconsin Whitewater. You know what I'm talking about? Deli boy? Yeah.
Quinn Miners, yeah.
Yeah.
Quinn Miners, that makes it even better. Javonte Williams is going to be special, and that Denver landing spot is beautiful. And I always talk down about Melvin Gordon, because even on a good day, he's averaging 4.0 yards a carry. He's absolute trash as a running back. Overdrafted every time. And Javonte Williams is going to smack him down the depth chart so far, they're going to cut him sometime very soon.
Oh, that's terrible. A hot take.
Javonte Williams is going to average 5-point-something yards a carry in that offense, and he's going to score a ton of touchdowns. That AFC West defense, the defenses in that division he's going to face against the run are still not very good. And he's going to thrive in that system. And Melvin Gordon is dead right now. Just dead. That pick killed Melvin Gordon, and I love it.
Melvin Gordon, rest in peace.
Melvin Gordon.
Get your alleged DUI situation taken care of, man. Don't drink and drive, kids.
Yeah, rest in peace, my Mike Boone chairs.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I did some of those things.
That was a fun. That was a fun time. Quick. It's always so fun. I love that stuff.
Hey, how about that? Right?
You hate to see it.
It's okay.
Hey, how about that? Yeah. Well, all right. Let's quickly wrap up. We got wide receivers. Who are you thinking? There's a couple different people who could lead the charge here.
I answered this one.
Yeah, I know you did, but I'll let you lead off if you can slam dunk this one real quick for you.
Javonte Williams. Or no, Devontae Smith. Sorry, Devontae Smith. Javonte Williams and Devontae Smith are going to lead their perspective.
Devontae.
Yep. Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper. Sorry, it's going to be for my hated Eagles, but he's going to thrive in that offense. He's going to make huge plays. He's going to make all kinds of important chain-moving plays. That team's going to be pretty scary if they can pull a defense together.
I like it. How about you, Mr. Jordan? I'm sure you have somebody else in mind over there.
Yeah, I'm just looking and making sure I didn't miss any like crazy landing spots. I'm going Ja'Marr Chase with Joe Burrow. I know he's going to be unprotected, which is, it happens. We all do it sometimes.
They got a guard, right? I mean,
and they got Jonah Williams coming back.
They have a little bit, but I just think that connection, and I think Ja'Marr Chase is the number one wide receiver in that offense. I love T. Higgins and I love Tyler Boyd, but. And also, NFL teams, I think, won't come in with the idea that Ja'Marr Chase is the wide receiver one for a few weeks, and he's going to the moon. It's gonna be some stupid stuff where Joe Hayden's going to go guard T. Higgins instead of Ja'Marr Chase, and Minka's going to be on Tyler Boyd in the slot, and then they're going to be like, well, this Ja'Marr Chase guy's wide open.
Yeah. And then DFS lineups will go cha-ching. Cha-ching. Yeah, I was going to go Ja'Marr Chase. I just think that he's going to get the volume, and that volume is key. I remember that game last year where they threw the ball to A.J. Brown like 11 times, and like he dropped it like
A.J. Green.
I'm sorry, A.J. Green. Yeah, 11 times. He dropped it, like 4 times. He had two. It was horrible. Like I had him in your league, Bo, and I was like desperate that week. I started him, and I was like, "Oh, good Lord, 11 targets." Imagine if Ja'Marr Chase had 9 of those targets. He probably would have had more touchdowns because he had none. Yeah, AJ Green had no touchdowns.
I was just going to mention that AJ Brown, Tennessee didn't pick one. Did not pick a wide receiver.
Give me some
To the
volume.
moon in
Give me
targets.
some
Oh
volume.
my
I
god.
wanted Elijah Moore to land there. I thought those
I did too.
would just be sickness. But whatever.
I think Elijah's going to be pretty good in the Jets uniform too.
I think he's going to be.
Has potential in the future.
I'm excited for DFS purposes. With that being said, we have some friends coming on the show. Bo McBigtime is like extraordinaire with the guests and stuff. So, Bo, tell us who's coming up with the Chalk Block in the next couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying?
So next week is a very special person/persons that we love and we hold dear to our hearts on Twitter. I'm not gonna. I tweeted out the rest of the guest list, but let's just give Dave Kluge and possibly his wife some time to enjoy their week leading up to next week's show. They're coming on Chalk Blocked. It's going to be a blast. Dave Kluge and possibly Mrs. Kluge, the baker.
Shout out Emily. She is awesome.
Yeah, she's incredible. She's a baker. We're gonna collab with Big Time Flavor in the future. So we're gonna have some insane food porn on Twitter. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, Dave is our friend. He's a great guy. One of the best hosts of shows that ever was. But we're gonna give him the night off of hosting.
He had a great tweet that went viral. It was awesome. It was the Chicago Bears saying to Andy Dalton what was happening next with him, and it showed the scene from Toy Story where they painted over Andy on the shoe on the bottom of Woody, and it just went like hot cakes, which is awesome. I love it when Dave does that.
Absolutely
perfect. Dave should have like a million likes, my friend. So
that was absolutely stunning. That was
I
stunning
loved
tweet.
It was great, and so Also, by the way, if you don't follow Jordan Vanek1 on Twitter, you're missing out. He's bringing the fire. He's bringing the memes. He's bringing the fun.
The Mathematician, baby.
The Mathematician is hot right now, folks. And if you think he's hot now, wait until we're winning money. Wait until there's
lots of
money's in our hand. It's going to be great. So please do that. I do have one thing to share before you go out, because you know what? I do need to pimp this one more time because it's that big of a deal. And I'm sure there's so many
underdog.
It is, and I'm gonna let them kind of see it. You can see it right now. Best Ball Mania 2, $3.5 million in prizes. It says $1 million to first place. If you jump in right now to Underdog, it is a free entry. If you put a deposit in, it gets a free $25. There you go. I mean, that makes.
Bada bing, bada boom.
It's free, and you're in there. We're all going to be in there. Bo's going to be in there. I'm going to be in there. Jordan's going to be in there. Also, make sure you get yourself some Hot Box Gourmet Batch hot sauce. Make sure you get all your stuff at BigTimeFlavorCo.com. This
promo code CHOC21.
Oh, yeah, get a promo code CHOC21. Go to Viridian Global, get your gear, get your merch. This show is going to be here Friday at 11 for now, for a long time until we get to the regular season. Please also check out all the other shows on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Check out the Millionaires and Code Nimble over there when you download the Underdog Fantasy app. Shout out the Undroppable. Shout out everybody out there. We love you. Thanks for checking us out this week on Chalk Blocked. I think this is what I'm supposed to drop the out, right? Because then you're supposed to go like, oh, all right.
Sports Radio Network.
Radio Network.